Yes, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to your boy's channel, JXFC. You guys already know what it is. Big up everyone who's been interacting, liking the vid, subscribing to your boy, and letting me know your thoughts in the comments below. It's that time of the day, that time of the hour, that time of the minute. It's not a match preview, it's not a match reaction. It's a transfer transfer window video. First time I've done one of this, and today we're going to be talking about players. This is my personal opinion. These are the players I'd like to see Arsenal sell, loan, and buy as well. So it's basically my transfer window. How if I was the manager, the owner of the club, this is how this is how I would manage the transfer window. But let's get straight into it. Obviously, it's World Cup time. Just because it's World Cup time, don't let that forget you. Don't let that distract you from the fact that we're still Premier League champions, and I believe it's day 26 as Premier League champions, and yeah, just have to get it in there because Premier League champions, we know what we are, champions of England. You can't chat to me. Either way, let's get to it, champions. Let's get straight into the video, and obviously due to the World Cup going on, we're not really seeing a lot of movement in the transfer window. Not just with Arsenal, but with a lot of clubs. I mean, one of the only few clubs, Madrid have done, Real Madrid have done some business. Obviously, brought in Konate, they brought in Bernardo Silva, and they've brought in Denzel Dumfries as well. So they've been active. I've seen Man United have brought in Ederson. Tottenham have brought in Robertson and Senesi from Bournemouth. So some clubs have been fairly active, but with Arsenal so far we haven't been active. But the talks are still going on. There's still rumors out there regarding players we've been linked with, and there's also rumors regarding Arsenal players who could be linked with a move away from the club. So let's just get straight into it. Let's talk about it. And obviously, the first thing I want to touch on is some of the links that have been going on over the past couple of days. I mean, last week we saw that it was reported by Touchline on Twitter that just gonna share my screen very quickly, lads. Just give me one sec. Just gonna share my screen here. It was reported last week that was reported by Touchline. It was reported by Touchline last week that Arsenal have been linked with a move. Well, we're linked with Vinny Jr. obviously because, as you can see here, Mikel Arteta has asked Arsenal executives to attempt the signing of Vinicius Jr. and apparently Vinny Jr. is Arteta's dream target for that left wing position, and Mikel believes that Vinny Jr. is the final missing piece in that attack. And that's very interesting because, I mean, last year we were linked with Rodrigo. We were told about how Mikel Arteta is in love with Rodrigo and would love to have Rodrigo in his team in that left wing position. And this summer we're linked with a different Real Madrid player, and this time it's Vinny Jr. I don't know how much truth there is to those links. I mean, it's been talked about, but obviously you guys know my thoughts on Vinny Jr. I don't really rate him as much as other people do. Um, I believe Vinny's hot and cold in terms of his performances. Very hot and cold in terms of his performances because Vinny on his day is a quality player, like we saw yesterday um, in the Brazil Morocco game. On the best of his days, he's one of those players who can just come up with a moments of magic out of nowhere. Look at the goal he scored yesterday. We've seen this many times, even for Real Madrid. Like, he's the type of player who can just pick up the ball and be like, "Ah, cool, I'm winning the game for my team. I'm winning the game for my team." And he's got those moments of quality. But I mean, I feel like over the last couple of years, like last one and a half, last 1 year, 1.5 years, we've seen less of that quality. I feel like he's been slightly inconsistent over the last couple of years, obviously. I mean, looking at his stats, he does get stats. That's the thing with Vinny Jr. He does get stats. Looking at his stats for Real Madrid, last season he got, what do you call it, 14, 22 goals. Vinny Jr. got 22 goals and 14 assists for Real Madrid last season. So he does get stats. And I mean, he's been getting like 20 goals for the last couple of seasons. But I mean, usually when I watch Vinny, even in the goal, the thing with Vinny is very inconsistent. Is that when he's very good, like he's top quality. But when he's bad, he's terrible. When he's bad, he's terrible. When he's during his bad performances, his lows are very low. That's the thing with Vinny, and a lot of the times you see him miss very easy chances. You see him miss very easy chances. I remember even last season against the game Man City versus Madrid, the second leg at the Etihad. Yeah, Vinny scored 2 goals in that game, but he could have scored like 5 goals. I saw him miss some of the easiest chances. That's why the jury is out on Vinny, in my opinion, at the moment. But I mean, listen, I'd still take him at Arsenal. Yeah, the wages would be high. They would demand a high fee, but then I still think he improves us. He would not be my first option. I'll be real. Compared to what other people, this is just my thoughts. I know a lot of people would take Vinny. He does improve us, but then because of how inconsistent he's been over the last couple of 18 months, and he still does have moments of quality, as I said, I feel like, I don't know, for me, the jury is still out on Vinny at the moment. The jury is still out on him. Regardless, I would take him because he improves us, but then he would not be my first option, as I said. And moving on from Vinny, we've also been linked with Bradley Bacola, as Hand of Arsenal said. Yeah, Hand of Arsenal actually released a statement on Twitter, as we saw. What do you call it? Hand of Arsenal released a statement on Twitter yesterday. Was it yesterday? Where is he? Is he deleted the tweet or what? Where is that tweet, man? Yes, exactly. I'm gonna share the screen one more time. I'm gonna share the screen again, man. Um, as you can see over here, Hand of Arsenal released this statement talking about the situation with Musa Sissoko. Obviously, you guys remember Musa Sissoko. He played for Watford and Tottenham and Newcastle as well a couple of years ago. But now he's an agent. He represents Bakola, Due, and Usman Dembele. And yeah, apparently the talks have not been progressing. I'm not reading all of this, obviously. I've read it before. I'm not going to go through it. It's quite a long statement. But regardless, Arsenal are interested in Bradley Bacola, and obviously because it doesn't look like the talks are progressing very well with PSG. Possibly Bacola might be leaving PSG. It looks like Bacola might leave PSG this summer, and he's being linked with Arsenal. He's been linked with Liverpool. Those are the two main clubs I've seen him being linked with. And for me, the Bacola links, allow it. That's when I'm not here for it. It's like dead those links, dead that. Like less of that, bro. Listen, Bacola, that's the thing. Bacola is another one of these players. Yeah, he's a very skillful player, Bacola. Like in terms of taking his players on, taking on the defender, his pace, like on the ball, he's a quality player. But the final third, he's playing the final third. This guy will kill 10 players in a row and then miss a free post. That's the thing with Bradley Bacola. And I've seen him miss against Arsenal. We remember in the Champions League final a couple of weeks ago. He left Timber for dead, like on the halfway line. Had a near enough one-on-one with Raya, and I think Saliba was the only defender near him. And he skied it. Literally, he had the opportunity to win the game for his team in the last minutes. Obviously, they won the Champions League anyway, so it doesn't matter. But then he had the opportunity to win the game for his team in the last minutes, and he completely skied the ball, man. 1-on-1, and he completely sent that ball to the stands, to the high stands where the PSG ultras were sitting. And for me, Bacola, I'm on rating Bacola, man. I'm not trying to hear the Bacola legs, bro, because for me, people are saying, yeah, he can improve. He's young. He's 23 years old. His finishing can improve. But then listen, I'm not. Nah, listen. He's the Messi's of the Maduekis, bro. It's as easy as I can say. He's the Messi's of the Maduekis. No disrespect. So for me, Bakola, not for me, man. Not for me. It's just not for me. And we've also seen a couple of links with Tzolis, the Belgian, the Belgian, um, the Belgian winger. He's been linked with Arsenal over the last couple of days, obviously, and we're going to talk about it um, later in the video when I talk about how I would like to build a team for next season. But that one looks like it might happen because the talks are going on well. But let's just get straight into the transfer window itself, like how I'd set up the team for next season. And for me, like you can see, we're going to start with the players that I'm going to be selling. And the first player, yeah, this is the players. We're also going to talk about the players who I'd like to sell, the players who I'd like to see signed for the club. First player that we're going to be selling, for me, Ben White. Obviously, um, I think the injuries have really caught up with him over the last couple of years, and he's been playing a lot of football over the last couple of years, and especially last season, this season, the injuries really caught up with him, and it looks like his legs are gone. He picked up another injury at the end of the season, and now it looks like he's gonna be out for another couple of months or couple of weeks. I don't know how long he's gonna be out for, but then White, I think, has been a very good servant of the club. I mean, ever since Ateta moved him from centre back to right back, he's been quality. Ben White, man, he's been quality. 22, 23 played that right. Obviously, he came in 21, 22. And I remember when we signed him, we were like, Ben White for £50 million. We were like, how have we gone down that centre back? So he played centre back in his first season. He partnered Gabriel, um, and I think he was okay. He had an okay first season. He weren't nothing special. And then second season when Saliba came into the team, Ben White obviously moved into right back. Saliba partnered Gabriel in centre back. And 22, 23, Ben White, as soon as he moved to that right back position, quality. 23, 24 got even better in 23, 24. But obviously now 24, 25, that's when the injuries started to catch up with him. And he was in and out of the team. Timber obviously came into the team, impressed us very much, and he's taken up Ben White's position. So, Ben White, you've been a very good servant for the club, quality player. And it's unfortunate that these injuries have impacted him like this, but it's the game. The game is a game, bro. The game is a game. Ben White, you go down as a cult hero. We love you at this club, Benny Blanco. You know, we love you, man. But I mean, now it's time to move on. If we can get like a 35 million, not 35, I have it here in my documents. If we can get like a simple, if we can get like, what do you want to call it? If we can get, lost my train of thought. Just gonna present my screen, isn't it? This is, yeah. If we can get like a 25 million for Benny Blanco, maybe you can go Villa or Newcastle or Everton. One of those teams, I'm sure, will be happy to pick him up, and I think that would be something we'll be looking to do. Central midfield, it's gonna be the next person to go for me. It's Martin Odegaard, obviously. Martin Odegaard. I mean, he obviously came into the club. In He's been in the club for what, 5 years now, 5.5 years now, because obviously his first 6 months were on loan. So I think he's been an okay with Odegaard. It's been up and down. I think 22, 23 and 23, 24, he was unplayable. We remember 22, 23 during our first title challenge. He scored 15 goals and got like 8 assists in the Premier League. 23 goals and assists in the Premier League. He was unplayable that season. The next season, he got, I believe it was 8 goals and, if I'm not wrong, or 8 goals, and would have been uh 8 goals and 10 assists. So he got 18 GA in the next season. He was very good that season as well. But I feel like ever since 2024, since the 24-25 season, he's been poor, bro. It's as easy as that. I believe he only has like he only has like 4 goals. He only has like 4 goals in the last in the last 2 seasons. He only has 4 goals in the Premier League. This season he only got 1 goal in the Premier League, and that was against Brighton. And he's been in and out of the team. And when he's in the team, he's always being subbed off. So I feel like even Ateta is Ateta has also kind of he's kind of had enough of Martin Odegaard, if we're being honest, because in and out of the team, always being subbed, even though he's a captain. I think it's time to move on from Odegaard. Uh, and I think a lot of fans understand that if we can get like 50 million pound anywhere near that, then we can move him on. Obviously, interlinks. We've seen the interlinks. You never know, Bayern might come in for him. But for me, Odegaard, it's time to go, man. It's time to go. Next player for me, it's gonna be Christian Norgard. I think. Listen, Norgard, big up yourself, man. I think you were just there on the passion thing this season. You were doing the background motivation thing because we barely saw you in the Premier League. I think I only saw you like play like 2 or 3 games in the Premier League. You did all right in the cups. I was a big fan of you, Nogan. Actually, there's many times I called for you to start in the Premier League, but I mean, listen, you came in for 15 million pounds. You've won the Premier League in your first season. I'm sure that will go down. That's something that will go down as a very big memory once you retire. But I mean, if we can get like 10 million pound for Christian Norgard, we can move him on. Next player is gonna be Fabio Vieira, and Vieira for me, Vieira has to cut now, man. Like it's time for Vieira full screen, man. Fabio Vieira, he came in for 35 million pounds in the 22-23 season. He he was a player who was injured quite a lot. I mean, quite a few times. And the thing is, I also feel like even when he was on the bench, Ateta didn't really trust Fabio Vieira that much because he never really used to bring him on whenever he needed like to change the game. So Fabio Vieira, feel like you only got one Premier League goal as well. So listen, Fabio Vieira, you've been out on loan a couple of times as well. Listen, it's time to move on. It's time to move on. If we can get like 20 million pound for him, obviously we saw that Nottingham Forest are interested in signing him for like what 20 million euros. So 28 million euros. So if we can get that kind of money, listen, take it and run away, bro. Listen, I'll drive into Nottingham Forest myself, man. Big up Nottingham. Uh big up big up the Nottinghams, man. Big up the Knots. But regardless, is what it is. And next player for me, it's gonna be Leandro Trossard. Obviously, we've seen some of the links with Leandro Trossard. We've seen the Bournemouth links. We've seen the Besiktas links. One of those clubs in Turkey. We've seen he's been linked with We've seen he's been linked to the move away, and we can get like something like 20 million pound for him, then that would be good. I feel like Trossard, you've been a good signing for the club, one of the best January signings we've had in the club, and you've been a good servant for the club. You obviously, you was always clutch. We always saw you as a clutch player, and you obviously got us the winning goal um, towards the end of the season in that goal against West Ham, which is a very important goal. That's won us the game, and one of the reasons why we won the league. And Trossard, listen, you've been a good player for the club, and but I feel like it's time to go. It's time for Trossard to go. This would be the best time for him to leave the club on a high, on a Premier League win, and best of luck in your future. Next player for me, it's gonna be uh, Gabriel Martinelli, and for me, Martinelli. Now it's also time to cut. I actually do think Martinelli will leave the club because, as we saw, even towards the end of the season, and actually since the turn of the year, Teta has been playing him less and less, even when Trossard's performances were poor. Ateta kind of stuck with Trossard. Um, that's one of the reasons I feel like he leave. And also Martinelli, you've also, I feel like since the 24, 25, 23, 24, you also weren't very good that season. Over the last 2 years, I'd say you've declined Martinelli, and you were a player I really like. You're a player I really liked, and I was backing Martinelli to the Martinelli. You're my guy, bro. You're my guy, man. You're my guy, Martinelli, and we obviously signed you for 5 million from the fourth division of Brazil. And listen, what a signing it was, obviously. And I feel like Martinelli is a striker. I don't feel like he's a winger. So maybe that's one of the reasons we've seen him decline like this, because we signed him as a striker. But obviously he's been converted into a winger. But I mean, Martinelli, listen, you're still young. You're only like 24 years old. So you still have a long career ahead of you. You've won a Premier League title. You got yourself an FA Cup. And listen, we can sell him to like Bayern or Saudi, get like 45 million pound for him. That would be a good deal because I think Martinelli is still young. So you can get a very good deal for him. 45 million pound for him, send him to like Saudi, Bayern, one of those teams. That would be a good deal for him. And last player on the list for me in terms of the players I'd sell is Reece Nelson. And Reece, you've just been unlucky, man. Injuries, being loaned in and out. It's unfortunate because Reece is actually a very good. Reece is a player I like. Reece Nelson is a good player, and obviously, as I said, injuries have riddled him. They've really hampered his career. And listen, if we can get like 15 million pound for Reece Nelson, then I'd say 10 to 15 million pound for him. That would be a good deal for the club, and it'll also be good for Reece Nelson. Go somewhere where you can play football consistently, and obviously, hopefully, the injury situation gets better because injuries is the main thing that's really hampered you in the career. But best of luck to Reece. I don't think he has a future at the club because I just feel like we've moved on from him. And we moved on from him a very long time ago. I don't think he's really ever had a consistent run in the team. So, Reece, best of luck, my guy. And I'd actually, the next person is not a player I'd sell, but a player I'd loan, and that is Ethan Waneri, because I feel like Ethan, with the players we're looking to sign, and the fact he was out on loan last season, not a very successful loan, not his fault, obviously, because Dizabi obviously left. He was loaned out to Marseille, and Dizabi left, so new coach wasn't really playing him. He didn't get a consistent run in the team because the new coach wasn't really playing him consistently. So I think Ethan, another loan. You're still young. You're still only like 18 years old. Another loan would be good for him. We've obviously seen that Newcastle are interested in. They're very interested in signing Ethan on loan, and yeah, let him go to another Premier League club. I'd like to loan him to the Premier League this time, to a club where Ethan can be guaranteed to play a lot of minutes, maybe like a Brighton, a Palace, or a Bournemouth, one of those teams, man. I want Ethan to go out there and play football, and at least that would be good for him. Ethan is a player I rate highly. If you guys watch this channel, you guys know I've been vouching for Ethan from the start, and that's my guy. So it'll be good to see Ethan. I'm not selling Ethan at all, man. I would not sell Ethan at all. Um, but I'd like to see him go out and loan, get some experience, play some consistent football, because I don't think he'll get a consistent run um, in this Arsenal team at the moment. So let him go somewhere where he can get some consistent football and then come back to the team and we can integrate him nicely. But that's a team for me. That's the players I would sell. And now we're gonna talk about how I've built up the squad for next season. For next season, I'm just gonna share my screen now, man. Um, gonna share my screen now. This is how I've built up the squad for next season and the lineup, the squad I'd like to see for next season. This is a squad, man. As you guys can see, Arsenal 26, 27. This is the squad that I've put up for next season. And it's a completely different, it's not a completely different team. I've just added in a few players in some positions. Don't change the team too much. We just need to improve the quality. And obviously, in the goalkeeping position, Raya keeps his place. And Kepa, I'll keep Kepa for now. If an offer comes in for him, you can sell him. And we can integrate Tommy Stetford as well, the young goalkeeper, into the team. So Kepa and Stetford can be back up to David Raya. On the right back position, it's gonna be Jurien Timber, and obviously because we're selling, I've put Ben White up for sale, and we will need to replace him. I don't want Mosquera playing right back. I don't want to be playing makeshift right backs in that position. So I would actually go for Daniel Munoz from Crystal Palace. Obviously, he's a very good right back. Obviously, he's older than I thought. I thought it was maybe like 25, 26, 27, but he's actually 30 years old. But then that's a player who's got a lot of experience. He's got a lot of quality. If we can get him for like anywhere around, because of his age, we can get him at a decent price. If we can get him for like around £23 million, £25 million, that would be a good deal. He's a quality player who can play second fiddle to Jurien Timber. So Munoz is a fast signing. Centre back, it's obviously gonna be Gabriel and no Saliba, and back up to him would be Mascara. Left centre back, you've got Gabriel. You can play Calafiori as backup to Gabriel. You can play Hincapi as backup to Gabriel on that position. You can play Mosquera. You can play many players over there. And left back, it's going to be Hincapi as the starting left back and Calafiori playing as backup to him. And into the midfield, as the pivot, as you can see, it's going to be Declan Rice and Sandro Tonali. For me, I'd go and get Sandro Tonali. We've obviously been linked to Tonali, and it's looking like Tonali is looking. He's been linked to many clubs. We've seen the Man City links. We've seen the Man United links. It's looking like he's one of the players that could be moving away from Newcastle this summer, and they're going to demand a lot of money. I'm sure maybe like anywhere from like near enough £80 million. If we can get him for £80 million, I think that would be a listen. This is what the market is. This is what the market is. You're gonna have to pay that price and get Tonali for like 75, £80 million. Slot him straight into the team, and I think him and Rice would be a very good partnership. Tonali is obviously a number eight, and he's a very good striker of the ball. Technically, he's very decent, and his passing is fairly decent as well. So Tonali and Rice as the pivot, and back up to them you can play Myers Lewis Kelly, my guy MLS. I'd actually be very happy to see Myers Lewis Kelly play in that position as a starter next season if we can't get a starting midfielder. But I do think because we're looking at a midfielder, the Barca and Ateta are looking to sign a midfielder. I believe that we will get one, and it will be good if it's Tonali, Alex Scott, those kind of players. We've been linked to Boadi as well from AC Milan, not AC Milan, from Lille, and he obviously played for Morocco yesterday. Very good performance in the World Cup. But right now, I can't lie. I want ready-made players. I want ready-made Premier League, Premier League quality players. Not to say that these other players are not quality, but then someone like Tonali, I think like we're trying to retain a title. This is a player that can help us. This is a player that can definitely help us retain that title. So Sandro Tonali, obviously, as I said, Miles Lewis Kelly, I think next season he's going to be getting way more game time in that midfield. And he can interchange, can come in for Tonali, come in for Rice. And Zubimendi and Merino will also be playing back up to those players. So the midfield will be looking stacked for next season. On the right wing position, it's gonna be Bukayo Saka. And Saka, for me, you need to improve a lot next season, man. You're my guy, Saka. You know you're my guy. We love you as Arsenal fans. Biko Bukayo Saka 7. You've lifted this club. You carry this club during the dark times, obviously, but you need to massively improve. You need to massively improve next season. Massively improve because the last 2 years, last 1.5 years, I don't think you've been very good. Obviously, that's due to the injuries, which have really hampered you a lot. But Saka, you need to improve next season, as I said. And for me, you get another season. You got one more season in this club. You obviously signed a new deal, and back up to him will be Max Dowman and Noni Madueke. And the 10 for me, obviously, we've been linked to with Morgan Rogers. That's a player I really like, Morgan Rogers. Quality player, the way he's a very good carrier of the ball. Technically, he's very good. And he's a very good striker of the ball as well. And he can obviously play in the 10. He's primarily a 10. I feel like he's a wide. With Morgan Rogers, he's like this new generation of players, this wing fielders, as Saeed says, man. These wing fielders, the midfielders who can play as wingers. And I think Rogers is one of those players, as I said, he can play on the left, he can play on the 10, he can play on the right, he can even play up top. We've seen him play up top a couple of times for Aston Villa. Obviously, that's he plays in partner with Watkins when we've seen him play in that number 9 role. But Morgan Rogers, as I said, quality player. This is a player I actually think we will sign. I think we will get the Morgan Rogers deal over the line. He wants to come to Arsenal. Villa looking like they'll probably have to sell because of PSR issues, even though they don't want to sell. But this is a quality player that we should be bringing into the club. And I want to see him mainly in that number 10 position. Obviously, as I said, he can play on the left, but then I want to see Rogers as a 10. And back up to him can be Aberechi Eze. Him and Rogers, they can be interchanging. Obviously, because we're going to sell Odegaard, we're going to need to replace him as well. So Morgan Rogers would be the perfect replacement. Quality player. This is another player that can help us retain that Premier League title. On the left, for me, it's going to be Eli Junior Krupi. And Krupi, my guy, is written in the stars that you join Arsenal. You scored the goal that won us the league. Um, Obviously, Bournemouth. Remember, he plays for Bournemouth, obviously. And this is a player that's scored 13 goals, 19-year-old, and he scored 13 goals in the Premier League in his first season, in his debut season. And he scored. This is a quality player, man. Whenever I watch Krupi, but he's a good player, man. Confident player as well. Scored home and away against Arsenal. Scored against a couple of the big teams, obviously. He scored against Man City. And this is a player who's been linked to PSG as well. If we can get Krupi, man, bro, that'll be a very good deal, man. He can obviously play in the 10, he can play as a number 9 as well, and he can play on the left as well. So for me, Krupi would be that signing on the left hand side for me. I think he can player that's got a lot of, he's a player that has a lot of potential, and we have to he probably costs a lot of money, around 80 million pound, similar to Morgan Rogers. But listen, now it's about signing quality, man. You want to sign quality, you have to spend a lot of money. So for me, Krupi would be the next signing, and backup to him would be Tzolis. Tzolis, the Greek winger, he plays for Club Brugge, and as I said, this is a player that we've been heavily linked with. This is a player that's been talked about massively, like heavily, over the last couple of days. Let's say the last 48 hours. Obviously, we saw the David Ornstein reports, the Fabrizio reports, and the Hound of Arsenal reports. And it looks like he's going to be more of a backup signing because his deal is not going to affect the signing of the priority. Like he's not the priority left winger. He's more of a backup signing. And looking at his stats, I mean, I saw. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know much about Zolis, but then I saw a couple of football compilations, and he looks like a player who can carry the ball very well. He's a decent dribbler, very good dribbler, and he can drift. He tends to drift inside quite a lot, and he's a decent striker of the ball. Obviously, in the last 2 seasons, 24-25, he obviously plays for Club Brugge. 24-25, he got himself 16 goals and six assists. So that's 22 GA in that season in 38 games. And 25-26, he got himself 17 goals and 23 assists. That's you do the math on that one, it's 40 goals and assists in one season in 36 games last season. And he looks to be a decent player. As I said, I don't know much about him. He obviously I don't know much about him, but from those stats, he looks like a player who can bag goals, and maybe he can come in as a backup signing. He could be a very good addition to the squad. Like I said, I don't know much about him, but it looks like it's a deal that's gonna happen probably around the region of 35 million pound. And yeah, go get it done. Go get it done with Martinelli and Trossard looking like they're gonna be out of the club. Listen, go get Krupi and go get Zoli's for that left wing position. The striker position, I'm gonna maintain both Victor Gyökeres as the starting number 9 and Kai Havertz. I'd actually keep Kai Havertz. And for those of you who watch the channel, obviously full screen. For those of you who watch the channel, know that I'm very critical on Kai Havertz. And listen, I don't really rate Kai Havertz, but then for me, Kai Havertz is one of those players who he can come up with a moment of quality just out of nowhere. Like we saw that goal in the Champions League final. He obviously scored the goal that won us the Premier League against Burnley. And he's a player, I think, like as a squad player, he can actually do a job. So I'll keep Kai Havertz for another season. Obviously, massive if a massive offer came in from another club, then listen, I'd be looking to move him on. But then for now, I'll keep Kai Havertz, and Gyökeres will be the starting number 9, and that should be enough to carry us into the new season. They're different strikers. You can alternate them depending on the game. But that's my transfer window. That's my transfer window. Those are the players I would like to see us sign, the players I'd like to see us sell. And it's definitely going to be a busy summer for Arsenal this season because we're obviously looking to definitely retain that Premier League title. That's something we haven't done in our history. So signing the right players is definitely going to help us retain that Premier League title. And it's going to be a big summer. We're obviously looking to push for that Champions League as well. That Champions League, that first Champions League win. But more on that later. You guys let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Let me know what you think about the signings that I've spoken about. As I said, a couple of Arsenal videos. This is the first one. We'll see if I'll release more later on in the week. But let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Make sure you smash the likes. Make sure you like the vid. Subscribe. Premier League champion. We out.